In this video, we're going to talk about one of the planet's most fascinating predators, the owl. Seriously, these guys are mysterious, silent masters of the night, and they have some absolutely incredible abilities that we're about to uncover. So let's get right into it. From their ghostly silent flight to those razor-sharp talons, owls are pretty much perfectly evolved hunters. But, there's so much more to them than just that. We're going to explore their family lives, their unique biology, and a few surprising facts you might not see coming. So, what exactly is an owl? Well, simply put, they're birds of prey, and they belong to a special group called Strigiformis. There are over 200 different species, and most of them are nocturnal, which means they do their best work when the rest of us are fast asleep. They're really the only big group of birds that specializes in hunting at night. And let me tell you, they are incredibly successful. You can find owls in almost every kind of habitat you can think of, from super dense forests to wide open grasslands. They've basically conquered every single continent on Earth, with just one exception. You won't find them in icy Antarctica. Okay, so let's get a little more personal and take a peek into the life of an owl. How long do they live? How do they raise a family? And what exactly is on the menu for dinner? An owl's lifespan really comes down to its size. The smaller species, like the tiny elf owl, they usually live for about 5 to 10 years out in the wild. But the bigger, more intimidating ones, like the great horned owl, they can live for an impressive 15 to 30 years. When it comes to family, a lot of owls are surprisingly romantic. They often find a partner and stick with them for life. And they're not really into building their own homes. Instead, they're super resourceful, taking over old abandoned nests or just finding a nice cozy hole in a tree. After the female lays her eggs, both mom and dad work around the clock to feed those hungry little owlets once they hatch. And what are they feeding them? Well, owls are carnivores, and they're not picky eaters. Their diet is mostly small mammals like mice and rats. But hey, they won't say no to some insects, other birds, or even fish if they get the chance. And get this, they often swallow their prey whole, and then later they cough up all the indigestible bits like bones and fur in a neat little package called an owl pellet. Swallowing prey whole is just the beginning of what makes these guys such incredible hunters. So now, let's get into the really cool stuff. The superpowers that make owls the ultimate predators of the night. Okay, you've probably seen this in cartoons, right? The owl that turns its head all the way around? Well, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but the reality is almost as unbelievable. An owl can spin its head a full 270 degrees. That means it can look completely over one shoulder and then swing all the way around to look over the other. So how in the world do they do that without, hurting themselves? The secret is all in their anatomy. They have double the number of neck bones that we humans do. That's 14 compared to our 7. It gives them this incredible, life-saving flexibility. Their whole hunting toolkit is just amazing. They've got these special, soft feathers that break up the sound of their wings, which makes their flight almost completely silent. Their hearing is so precise they can find a mouse rustling in leaves in total darkness. That's partly because their ears are asymmetrical. One is higher than the other, helping them triangulate sound. And of course, those huge eyes give them phenomenal night vision. But even with all these superpowers, life isn't always a walk in the park for an owl. They've got their own dangers to face, and their social lives, well, they might not be what you think. So that brings up a really good question. If owls are such amazing predators, way up high on the food chain, does anything actually prey on them? And the answer is yes, especially when they're young and vulnerable. Fully grown owls don't have too many natural predators, but their eggs and their owlets are definitely a target for animals like foxes, wildcats, and snakes. Other big birds of prey like hawks and eagles will also attack owls, but that's usually over territory disputes. So what about their social structure? Do they have a leader, a chief owl? Surprisingly, nope. Most owls are solitary creatures. They live and hunt alone for most of the year. And while there's no chief, there is a sort of dominance hierarchy, a literal pecking order, that decides who gets the best food and nesting spots. All right, we've covered their biology, their family life, and their status as top-tier hunters. Now for the really fun part. A few rapid-fire surprising facts that make owls even more fascinating. So even though they're usually alone, if you ever do happen to see a group of owls together, you can impress your friends by calling them by their proper name, a parliament. Pretty wise and distinguishing sounding, don't you think? Here's a real mind-bender for you. We have 2 eyelids, right? Well, owls have three. They've got a normal upper lid for blinking and a lower lid they pull up for sleeping. But they also have a third, see-through eyelid that sweeps across the eye from the side, kind of like a windshield wiper, to keep it clean and protected. And finally, you know that classic hoo-hoo sound we all associate with owls? Turns out, it's not a universal thing. Yeah, a lot of owls hoot, but some, like the barn owl, don't hoot at all. Instead, they make this eerie, piercing hissing sound. So if you hear that in the night, you'll know who or what is out there. From their silent flight to their complex family lives, owls are just truly remarkable creatures. All their unique adaptations have let them thrive in the darkness, basically turning the night into their own personal kingdom. It really makes you wonder, what other secrets are these masters of the night hiding? Alright, that is it for this video, everyone. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.